Dearest Suzie, I got 3 letters from you today and the pictures of Billy and Brian. I was glad to get them, but I wish some of Brett had turned out. Send me some of him and yourself as soon as you can. I was especially glad to hear that you all got over to the beach for a while. I hope you can make it often. I sure wish I could be there with you, but there is no sense in crying over that. I've got 4.5 months no matter how you figure it. Tickled to death that the boys weren't afraid of the water. I went into town tonight to look for something for you, but I couldn't find anything that I could just walk in and buy that I liked. Anything worth having over here has to be specially made, so I'm going to give up on trying to find anything now, but I am sending you something. I think you will like it. I got Mom a present too, but I have to pick it up tomorrow night. She should get it within 2 days after you get yours. When she gets it, I want you to see it and let me know what you think of it and how she likes it. I still want the boys' sizes. And I won't be sending Billy a present. I just can't find anything over here nice enough for little boys, and since you got him a watch, I don't try to send anything. But tell him for me that I was thinking of him. I'm going to close for now. I have an early takeoff tomorrow. I love you and miss you all very much. All my love, Bill. Today I would like to present the first part of a piece I wrote. I won't give much context. I hope you can figure it all out together on your own. I'll provide pieces across this month, when there are days which have less to talk about, and as with most everything else in this project, this is deeply personal and meaningful to me. I hope you enjoy. It was a sleepy late November evening, and I had been invited to a birthday dinner at one of the nicest restaurants in town. It was a part of a popular regional chain of high-end restaurants that was built prioritizing a close proximity to the nicest neighborhoods north of Orlando. Ones that oftentimes boasted residency of Magic basketball players, former Hollywood celebrities, and ambulance-chasing lawyers who plastered their faces on billboards dotting the East Coast. It was Mary's 81st birthday, and she wanted to celebrate with friends and family. I had become close to Mary, her daughter Lisa, and her son-in-law Tim. Tim and Lisa have 2 children about my age who moved away years ago, and Mary was staying with them for the winter to escape the cold in the north. She splits time between her kids and was admittedly happy to spend her birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's in Florida. She is a funny woman, with the kind of wise perspective that a second-generation American can have, who was raised in New Jersey and lived most of her life in the South, with a husband in the military and 4 kids. She liked me and wanted me around. Her daughter and son-in-law are blue-collar. Neither have college degrees. Tim owns a small but generally prosperous construction business, and Lisa raised her kids until they were old enough to drive and then found some corporate position in HR. They had both went to high school in Orlando and never left, moving to the suburbs in Sanford to raise their kids. It was safer and not as expensive. They liked the area for the most part, but always dreamed of moving closer to the coast. Tim was able to afford the meal at the nice restaurant for the family because he had traded work on the building's facade for gift cards, an arrangement he often made so they could enjoy the finer things life had to offer. I knew Tim and Lisa's kids growing up and reconnected with the family in downtown Sanford once at a street fair. They reminded me of my parents. I sat next to Mary at the dinner, doing my best to act like the price tag of the salad and fish I ordered weren't a bit out of my price range. They and their friends spoke generally about their lives and how work had been going. Eventually, Mary turned to me and said, "Alex, you know I really like your writing, right?" The compliment certainly took me by surprise. I had shown the 3 of them some of my work so they could be familiar with the type of research I do and see how I might one day write about them if they let me spend time with some of them. "Well, yes, thank you, Miss Mary. I really appreciate that." She smiled and nodded. "I have something I want you to do for me," she began, which, admittedly, confused me. I really had no idea what she could want. "Sure. It's your birthday, after all," I smiled. "I want you to write to Dr. Phil about Jessica's kids. I can't write the way you do, and I want him to listen to the story. You can tell it well." My heart sank. She was talking about her granddaughter, the oldest of 10 grandkids and daughter of Lisa's older brother. From what I had been told, Jessica had quite a troubled past. Her mother and father were both abusive, divorced when she was young, and neglected to get her treatment for her diagnosed bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. She barely finished high school and immediately had a run-in with hard drugs in one of those sad, run-down towns south of Orlando, but close to Disney. She had what seemed to be a loving extended family, but years of abusing meth and prescription painkillers that weren't prescribed to her made her paranoid and untrusting of just about everyone. Her father, Benjamin, had recently died homeless from cancer caused by decades of smoking, and she apparently had some unresolved issues with him. He had spent his life working at different gas stations, doing the bare minimum and stealing scratch-offs long enough until he got fired. He had 3 different ex-wives and years of child support payments that he would never get the chance to pay off. He also struggled with his mental health. Mary once expressed that she was afraid he had so much trouble in his life due to the way she and her husband raised him. His dad was mean sometimes, but never hit him like he hit the other kids. Benny was so smart growing up and was supposed to go to college. When he turned 18, we did everything we could for him, but he said we smothered him, and he went haywire. Lisa has expressed to me before that her dad was an alcoholic and had no problem hitting his kids to discipline them. Jessica had spent the past 20 years in and out of jail and almost had a total breakdown when her brother committed suicide almost 15 years ago. That kid always had demons, Tim said to me one day. He used to do all kinds of shit. One day he called me from the Ocala National Forest asking me to pick him up. He had come off a many days long acid trip and needed a way to get back home. He actually expected me to drop what I was doing at work and drive the 2 hours one way to get him. I told him he had to stop doing that stuff and find a way back home himself. He never really got straight, though. Eventually, he beat the shit out of some girl down south so bad that she had to get airlifted to the hospital. I think she still has permanent brain damage now or something like that from it, which is crazy because he wasn't even that big. We thought at first it was just a drug overdose that killed him, but now we think it was a suicide. Probably to get away from facing up to those charges he had in front of him. Jessica and her brother were close, and she took his death pretty hard, insisting, even still, that her brother did nothing wrong and the girl he hurt was beaten up by someone else. If you like that, please stay tuned this month for the next few parts of Fish, Pharmaceuticals, and Phil. The photo I chose for today depicts 3 women in a market somewhere. One is holding a scale and appears to be weighing out some kind of nut. Perhaps this was Vin Long. In the right corner, it says Hui. So, perhaps it isn't. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.